Walk down Pattaya Beach Road at midnight and you'll see something that would have been impossible 5 years ago. Families cooking dinner on portable stoves directly on the sand, blankets spread out like makeshift bedrooms, backpacks stacked as pillows, music playing from phone speakers. This isn't a festival. This isn't a special event. This is just Tuesday night in modern Pattaya, and Western expats are absolutely losing their minds about it. Facebook groups are exploding with complaints. YouTube channels are dedicating entire episodes to the Indian problem. But nobody wants to admit the obvious. These same Westerners have been doing questionable things in Thailand for decades without anyone caring. In 2019, Indian tourists ranked 7th among visitors to Thailand. Today, they're the 3rd largest group, behind only Malaysia and China. That's not gradual growth. That's a demographic explosion. But here's the kicker. This wasn't planned. No marketing campaign, no diplomatic effort. This was pure organic demand. 2.1 million Indians discovering that Thailand offers everything they want at a fraction of Western holiday costs. Pattaya became ground zero for this transformation. Not Bangkok with its business hotels, not Chiang Mai with its temples. Pattaya, where beaches meet nightlife, where rules are already flexible, where adaptation happens fast or businesses die. The result? A city caught between two worlds trying to serve visitors who approach travel, space, and social interaction in fundamentally different ways. Drive through Pattaya today, and the signs aren't subtle. Hindi signage competes with Thai script. Bollywood music spills from restaurants. The Central Festival Mall has 3 floors of Indian cuisine. Walking Street features tandoori alongside pad thai. But the real story is happening on the beaches after dark. What locals call the new normal, extended family groups setting up informal camps, portable stoves heating home-cooked meals, children playing cricket on the sand at 11 p.m., groups of 15 to 20 people treating public beaches like private living rooms. This isn't malicious. In India, informal use of public space is commonplace. Families picnic in parks for hours. Travelers sleep at railway stations. Personal space is negotiable. Community gathering is natural. Transplant that behavior to Thailand, and the results are jarring. Thai public spaces, especially beaches, are treated with quiet reverence. Sleeping in public isn't just discouraged, it's considered shameful. Camping without permits isn't just frowned upon, it's illegal. The friction builds not from dramatic confrontations, but from accumulation. Local vendors notice visitors who rarely buy food. Hotel owners report high occupancy, but minimal spending. Beach cleaners work overtime after informal gatherings. Restaurant workers describe groups sharing single meals or bringing outside food. None of it hostile, all of it changing the atmosphere. Time to talk about what everyone's actually upset about. The viral Facebook posts, the expat WhatsApp groups, the YouTube rants about standards dropping, and cultural disrespect. Western long-term residents and tourists are not happy about this demographic shift. But the spicy part is this. The same expat complaining about Indians sleeping on the beach spent his first year in Thailand, stumbling drunk down Walking Street at 3 a.m., haggling aggressively with taxi drivers, and treating bar girls like personal entertainment. The difference? He did it individually and quietly, not in visible groups. The Western complaints follow a predictable pattern. They're too loud, they don't respect local culture, they're changing the character of the place. Sound familiar? These are the exact complaints locals had about Western tourists for decades. But nobody listened then because Westerners controlled the narrative. The irony is staggering. British tourists have been getting blackout drunk and causing chaos in Thailand since the 1980s. Americans built Pattaya's entire sex tourism industry. Russians turned entire neighborhoods into Little Moscow. But when Indian families cook meals on the beach, suddenly everyone's a cultural sensitivity expert. Social media has amplified this hypocrisy to absurd levels. Expat Facebook groups share photos of Indian tourists with captions like, "This is not what I moved to Thailand for," as if Thailand exists to serve Western retirement fantasies rather than being an actual country with its own tourism strategies. The most telling part? Many of these complainers are exactly the type of tourists Thailand is trying to move away from. Budget travelers who contribute minimally to the local economy while expecting maximum accommodation. Indian tourists, for all their cultural differences, are actually spending more money and staying longer than most Western tourists. But that economic reality doesn't fit the narrative of cultural decline that feeds expat outrage content. Beyond Western complaints, there are legitimate cultural misalignments happening. Thai society values quietness, restraint, non-intrusion. Even during celebrations, there's an undercurrent of calm. Public behavior should blend in, not stand out. Many Indian visitors arrive with different energy, more expressive, more social, more communal. What feels warm and friendly in India can seem overwhelming in Thailand's subtle social environment. The friction points are real, aggressive bargaining styles that feel confrontational to Thai vendors, group dynamics that disrupt restaurant equilibrium, beach gatherings that stretch past midnight when locals prefer quiet evenings. But what's fascinating is this. Thai locals aren't the ones making the biggest fuss about these differences. It's Western expats who seem most offended by behavior that doesn't directly affect them. Thais are adapting, learning Hindi phrases, adjusting business models. Westerners are writing angry Facebook posts. The real cultural collision isn't between Indians and Thais. It's between Indians and Westerners who thought they had exclusive claim to being Thailand's primary foreign demographic. Thailand's response has been characteristically measured but firm. More beach patrols at night, fines for public sleeping, social media reminders about local customs. None of it hostile, just increasingly clear about boundaries. Smart businesses adapted faster than authorities. Restaurants hired Hindi-speaking staff. Hotels installed vegetarian-only kitchens. Tour operators created packages specifically for Indian family dynamics. The market responded to opportunity, not just problems. But the most interesting development is happening within the Indian travel community itself. Influencers are now posting content urging followers to book hotels instead of sleeping rough, avoid cooking on beaches, treat local workers with patience, clean up after gatherings. These aren't government campaigns. They're organic responses from Indians who understand that large-scale tourism depends on local goodwill. They're recognizing that first-time international travelers need guidance on navigating unfamiliar social expectations. On the Thai side, tourism boards are creating materials in Indian languages. Hotels are hiring Bengali and Hindi speakers. Beaches now post clearer rules in multiple scripts. These aren't just gestures. They're acknowledgments that Indian travelers aren't temporary guests anymore. The relationship is maturing beyond its awkward adolescent phase. Here's why this transformation is permanent. Indian tourists don't just bring numbers. They bring different spending patterns that often benefit local businesses more than traditional tourism. While European tourists might spend days at free beaches eating cheap local food, Indian families book packages, eat at mid-range restaurants, purchase organized experiences. The per-person daily spend averages 15 to 20% higher. More crucially, Indian tourism has eliminated Pattaya's seasonal volatility. European tourists avoid hot season. Chinese tourists disappeared during COVID. Indians maintain steady year-round visits, stabilizing what was previously a boom-bust economy. The employment impact is staggering. Over 15,000 new jobs created, from Hindi-speaking hotel staff to specialized tour guides to restaurant workers trained in regional Indian cuisines. Property development has exploded with 20-plus new hotel projects designed specifically for Indian family travel. Indian weddings alone have become a massive market. Luxury, multi-day events bringing hundreds of guests and injecting serious money into local economies. Indian tour companies are opening Bangkok offices. Indian cuisine is being integrated into Thai menus across tourist zones. The psychological impact might be most significant. For the first time in decades, Pattaya business owners feel confident about diversifying beyond Western tourists. The Indian market proved the city can successfully serve completely different cultural preferences while maintaining profitability. What's happening in Pattaya isn't just about tourism. It's about power dynamics and who gets to define acceptable behavior in international destinations. For decades, Western tourists set the rules because they had the money and the influence. Thai authorities tolerated Western sex tourism, drinking culture, and social behavior that would be scandalous in Western home countries because Western tourists were the economic priority. Now, Indian tourists bring different money and different behavior, and suddenly there's a moral panic about standards and respect. The hypocrisy is staggering, but it's also revealing a deeper truth about modern tourism. The future belongs to whoever brings the most economic value while causing the least actual harm. Indian families cooking on beaches and celebrating loudly might offend Western sensibilities, but they're not exploiting sex workers, starting bar fights, or treating Thailand like their personal playground. As Indian outbound tourism continues growing exponentially, destinations worldwide will face the same choice: adapt to new demographics with actual economic power, or cling to old demographics with declining relevance. Pattaya is choosing adaptation and prosperity. The Western expats writing angry Facebook posts can either adjust to the new reality or find somewhere else to retire cheaply. The transformation isn't about Indians versus anyone else. It's about Thailand finally having options and choosing the tourists who bring the most benefit with the least harm. And that calculation is changing everything.